Describe a skill you can teach other people.
There are many kinds of skills that we can learn, and we make sure that people can also learn from us. Here, I would like to talk about a skill that I have recently developed in my life. Cooking is a great skill and very much essential for the life despite of any gender. Everyone should learn these skills, and it is a great skills that can be helpful in every aspect of life. I have learned this skill to my brother that he is going to abroad where he can find a difficulties with the food and the other things. If he knows about cooking skills, then he can do adjustment in his life and can make his life very much easy. Initially, he find difficulty, and I also find it difficult to make him learn because he has never entered in this field. But after practicing for some days, he became very efficient and he started cooking a delicious dishes. Now, when we take dinners, he always makes sure that he observes me and try to learn as many things as he can.
Describe a time when you got good service at some restaurant.
There are many places that I visit very much, but some are the places which I remember because of the kindness of people. There are some people who serve food with great kindness and show the respect to everyone despite of the discrimination. Here, I would like to talk about my recent trip where I have met some amazing people who served food with a great kindness, and it feels really nice to visit these places no matter how they cook delicious food or not. These are the people who serve food with a great love that it becomes automatically delicious. And I never forget this kind of people because it makes a really great sense that people serve this food with great love.
Describe a time you had to wait in a long queue.
There are many places which is very crowded and people have to wait in a long queue. I am the person who do not like to wait for long hours and spend this time by doing nothing. But in 2018, there was a time when our Prime Minister has demolished the currency of our nation. And it was the time when I have stand in a long queue in front of the ATM, and it was a very busy day for me because I have to stand there for 4 to 5 hours in order to get my money. In that queue, I have met many people who were very different because it is the time when I was very free. That is why I was observing the people who were standing in a queue with me. Some people were very rude and trying to do some bad activities or trying to say some bad words about the government, while there were some people who were appreciating the decision of the Prime Minister. So I listened both of the views before making up with my mind, because I am the person who is not very much in politics, so I did not understand the point of view of the government. But after listening these debates, I really understand that it was a good decision, because it is a decision for taking out a black money from the nation.
Describe a job that you want to do in future.
There are many jobs that I admire and many roles that I want to play in my life. As I work in academics, I do not get much chances to explore the world. I would like to work in a sales manager, because I believe that it is the job where I can explore many places, as well as I can meet some amazing new people. One of my friend works in this field, and she always get a chance to do so. So it feels very interesting, but I know that there are many difficulties that I would have to face in this field, because it is not necessary that you always meet some good people, and sometimes it may happen that you can meet a bad people, or it becomes a bad experience that you feel like to quit this role. But I want to take this all challenges and want to explore this field.
Describe a time you were really close to a wild animal.
As I have a great love for traveling, I have visited many places in my life, but I have always a fear for animals. Even I do not get close to the domestic animal. But during my one traveling, I have visited a zoo, which was a quite different from a regular zoo. In this zoo, I have seen that animals were moving freely, whether it is a wild animal or a domestic animal. And they have sent the humans into the cage. So, in that cage, we have to just stand up, and the freely moving animals come close to us. In this experience, I have seen a tiger very close to my head, and I got really scared when I see the real tiger, because I have not seen a freely moving tiger in my life. And it was the time that it was very close to me. But it was a great experience with a combination of fear and excitement. It looks very beautiful with near, but I would not like to see it again in my life.
Describe a short trip that you do regularly.
There are many trips that I take on weekends, because they are really refreshing and gives a great energy to do work after completing these trips. I am living in a town where there is so much hot weather. So, I and my family, sometimes with my friends, I visit a nearby hill station. It is located in nearby my state and we can reach there up to 2 hours or 3 hours. This is a place where it is always a cold weather. So it becomes very nice to have a change in weather, and the people and the lifestyle are also different and quite simple with comparison to my city. So it is a good change that I would like to take very frequently. Also, the roads are quite good, and that is why we can reach there with in no time. So I visit it very frequently.
Describe a famous person of your country.
There are many famous people who whom people admire and watch them according to their taste. But here I would like to talk about a person who is very popular among all the generations. Sometimes it happens that a particular person is popular among certain age group, but the Indian actor Mr. Amitabh Bachchan is the actor who is loved by all the generations, whether they are young or elderly people. He has a great sense of humor and he has a great talent to attract the people towards him. He has also a special quality that he has a great sense of dressing. He always dresses up very smart and looks really handsome despite of his age. He is followed by many Indian as well as the international people. So we can say that he is the most popular person among Indians as well as the foreigners.
Describe a time when you gave advice to someone.
There are many advices that we receive and sometimes we give to the other people. I am the person who do not like to give advice unless and until it is very much necessary to the next person. I always prefer to give advice to the people who are close to me. Here I would like to talk about an advice that I have recently gave to my brother. He is younger than me and sometimes he becomes difficulties in taking decisions in his life. He has completed his education recently, so he was finding a difficulty whether to choose a career or further studies. So he came to me for the advice and I advised him to go for further studies because it is very important for his life. He listened to me and he carefully take all the advices and started working on it. After completing all the procession for further studies, he became successful and he always thanked me for this advice because it was very important decision of his life.
Describe a polite person you know.
There are many polite people and kind people that I have seen in my life. Here, I would like to talk about the person who is the most polite, and he is my father. He is very kind and he has a great patience in his life. Sometimes it becomes difficult for the young people to be patient and they take decisions that are quite wrong. But when I look at my father, he always take all the things patiently and carefully listen everything before taking the decision. I always admire him for this quality because he has this quality that I would like to adopt it because it is very necessary to be polite in real life. He always advised me to do so to maintain the relations in life because sometimes we take wrong decisions and sometimes our words can be wrong to the next person who is listening to us. He always advises that it is very much important to be patient rather than taking a regret of the things.
Talk about a time when your computer stopped working.
In the past lockdown, it was the time when everybody was working from home. I was also working on my computer on daily basis. It was a very difficult time because we have to work throughout the day on computers. So the computers also stop working on some days. I clearly remember that it was my exam day and I was prepared for all the things. But suddenly the computer switched off and it stopped working on the day of the exam. I got very panicked and I did not know what to do about it because it was the lockdown in the whole country. I do not find the person who can fix the computer. So it was a very hard day for me as well as for my computer. I will never forget this day because I have tried all the ways to fix it, as well as my father also started doing to work on it. Bye.